theater of the mind continued. Imagine yourself waking up one morning in the low dusk of the early morning light shines through your thatch roof. You hear the crowing of the chickens to bring on the new day. There's a chill in the air, so you reach for your favorite cloth to cover yourself. You venture outside into a field of growing plants that your father and mother have worked so hard to put before your vision. You do your daily job at the latrine, which constantly moves, so no one has to remember where the last one was. The goats, the sheep, the puppy dog that you found walking down the pathway one morning greet you in the morning early hours of the Renaissance. Your father's a proud man. Your mother's plain. You have no brother or sister because you're still so young. While you're standing in that field and you look out, you notice there's a castle. It has several different rooms built with the greatest, finest stones available at the time. You know nothing of the past, and you only wish for the future. Your father comes out of the hut and tells you, boy, it is time we venture into the castle. The Lord needs a new chair. And as an obedient son, you walk with your father and your puppy, of course. He comes with you everywhere. So the mile and a half trek to the castle. You're greeted by a gentleman at the gateway who tells you, now it is time for you to go to work, both of you now. Leave the puppy here, I shall tend to him. And then you obediently obey and walk into the castle foyer, where you'll see several workshops, barely being able to withstand the age that they have been there since of the time of the building of the castle. You're 7 years old. Your father is your main teacher, authoritarian, cook. He's never your servant, you're a servant to him. The morning task is to needle out some wood to make stiles for the backs of the chairs that will go into the great castle that you think is huge, but by other standards is very small. You're observant, and you listen to the elderly men chat about things that you don't know nothing about. The morning rise comes to the mid-afternoon. You hear the sound of a clanster, and it says, chow time or dinner. Food is being served to the servants. Well, of course, that's what you are. You're a peasant servant with all the need that you have upon yourself, brought there by others. You are tasked to bring in the goblets to be filled by the wine of the winemaker. You're very careful not to spill a drop, because all hell would pay if that fine liquor was not to be hit in the ground instead of your father's belly. Lunch is over. You get your cheese and your bread, and you are taken into an area where you chop wood. You measure it with a great stick, and you do the best of your ability at 7 to be as accurate as possible. As you bundle your rods of sticks up, bring them into the open workshop and hand them to your father proudly. He looks at you and says, good job, son, good job. Now it is time to go home to your mother. And once again you arrive to your hut, very menial as it is, dirt floor, a small wood rock constructed fire pit, the basic tools for cooking mutton, and you have to sit down to dinner. Now your father's a great Christian, so he sits you down in a chair with his wife and pray to the good Lord that their meal was brought before them by the grace of God. He pushes you off to the bedroom, which is only a haystack with a wool blanket over it, and you cuddle in for the night's rest. For the next 35 years, you walk side by side with your father. One afternoon, while he's out hunting, no one comes back. No one returns from that day's hunt. Not a soul. And you wonder to yourself, is this the end? You hear word that an attack has occurred by a rival clansman. Therefore, you're brought into an area where your elders all are meeting, and now that you're older, stronger and wiser, you choose to go to war to avenge the death of your father. You meet a young lady from a different town. You begin to court her, and then one fine day you marry her. The local kingdom grants permission for your marriage. You go into the first night of your marriage, and you can consummate the marriage. And a crowd gathers the next day and proudly tosses liquor in the air, thanking God that you are able to have a family in the future. Years pass, and your 7 children and 2 daughters have a large farm to take care of. Also, you still make furniture, but now your new job over the last 15 years is to guard the castle. Your job is to ensure that the occupants, regardless of who they are or their stature in the world, remain owners. You will defend it because you're paid. And with that money, you make yourself great battle armaments. You have a fine steed on weekends. When the weather's nice, you gather with your friends and family and you show your trade. Running up and down a long, narrow alley, carrying a large stick, you jostle your friend in opposition to see who can be the best. And of course you win. As time passes, you grow old. Your children begin to have children. Your business thrives to making the furniture and also the guardians of the castles. You now have 12 that you guard and are protected too, of course, you know, because if you protect the castle will protect you in times of trouble. The invaders are fought off. The landowners give you more and more. Then you begin to build your own castle. You are known as the Faith family. The future lies with those who dream. Good night, folks.